You have to get a feel for it. Flying this thing is like leading a cow over ice. It's heavy. You have to be able to predict where it's going to go. You steer it one direction, but the inertia means it's still going the other way for a while.
This drone was built to spray crops. It's noisy, slow, and impossible to miss in daylight. But here on the front lines, it flies at night, harassing Russian positions. Russian soldiers have their own name for it, Baba Yaga, after the flying witch of Slavic folktales.
We fly pretty low and can go up to 20 kilometers. Our job is to contain the enemy, to make sure their infantry doesn't get anywhere near our infantry.
That's a sound these men says allows them to relax. It's outgoing Ukrainian artillery fire. Delayed Western supplies have meant that most of the fire around here in recent months has been incoming. These drones were all the Ukrainian side had. This garage is where the unit's engineer tries to keep one step ahead of Russia's jamming efforts.
Our biggest worry is staying connected to the drones. The government gives us these drones and they just use one frequency for everything. Video and telemetrics. It's a mess. They've given us a civilian product. It just doesn't work under real-life conditions.
Here, within earshot of the front lines, the unit's engineer adds antennas and extra equipment paid for by crowdfunding. The owners of this garage have long since evacuated, leaving their tools behind.
This is the toolkit that's come with me since I was called up. I don't touch the owner's stuff. I think I borrowed the grinder in here a few times, but we leave things tidy when we leave a place. The cats are always fatter when we leave a place.
At the moment, there's no talk of having to leave this garage, or even to pull back here. For all of Russia's recent advances near Donetsk, this section of the front lines has been relatively stable, thanks in part to these drones. Here, deep underground, is where all the information comes together. Dispatchers help the drone pilots out in the field to plan their routes. Something that's constantly getting harder, with ever more drones in the air watching each other.
Just the other day, we were watching the stream and saw a kamikaze drone chasing another kamikaze drone. All of a sudden, a third drone turns up to attack the drone hunting the first drone. All I could think of was the soundtrack from Terminator 2. Sometimes it feels like the war of the machines here.
But it's not just the technology that's changing.
When we first came across the Russian army, they didn't have a clue about war. They were really full of themselves. They would always use the same tactics, which we knew from A to Z. It was easy to catch them out with a bit of creativity. But as time passes, there are more and more mobilized civilians among their ranks, and they bring their own ideas to the Russian army.
Not only are these Russian conscripts bringing their own ideas, they're also successfully copying Ukrainian ones. And they're doing it at a scale that Ukraine is struggling to match.